Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BBC Spews Live. Huzzah! What's the date? It's the 28th of June. It's a bit late. I've got things to do. Deal with it. Where are we? Who's in? Not as many. Diehards, sensible diehards, Two-Tone, Ben Jones, Scouse Orby, Samuel Saxon, Winston Smith, Kenny Ainsworth, Jeff Wedden, Aaron Williams, Dav Mack, Whiskey Straight Out, Ralphie Cray, Luke Hall, Chris Collin, Papa Golf, the Dear Leader, Terry Wuckfit, the Fearless Templar, Mark McCreel, Professor Andy, JVPA, Brian Pace, Teresa, Manda Sky, Mark Thompson, Maggie P, Denise Tross, Matt Oliver, Paul Fleming. Hello, everybody. There seems to be a lot of ladies in tonight. Well, like I said, it can't all be about the news. Some of them come for the eye candy, right? Of course they do. Their eyes aren't painted on. Now there's my hair, which is why it's going thin. I should get one of those spray-on things that Wacko Jacko used to use. Although no, he tattooed his fucking head, didn't he? Definitely not doing that. The only thing I've thought about hair pieces, right, is people who get a wig, a syrup. Have you seen the clip of that shocking Tory MP with a nasty, nasty wig? What's his name? What's he called? Michael Fabricant, that's it. Have you seen the clip of this bloke? Look at this. If anyone doesn't know who Michael Fabricant is, look at this. This is his Wikipedia page as well, by the way. So, I'm not purposely trolling the internet looking for the worst pictures I can find. Look at the clip of this bloke here. That is a fucking syrup and a half, that, isn't it? The thing with the syrup, right, what I don't understand, the only conceivable way I think I could get away with wearing a syrup is if you emigrated entirely and never went anywhere where anybody knew you. And if you turned up with a particularly well-made wig, maybe you could get away with it. But if that isn't the case, just accept it and go bald gracefully, shave your head, because being a balding man and suddenly walking into your logo looking like fucking that, can you imagine it? You've been thinning on top for a couple of years, and then you walk in looking like that. you might as well just kill yourself. The shame would be too much for me to bear. So, yeah, that's brilliant, that, isn't it? Anyway, we didn't come here to talk about Michael Fabricant, twat that he is. Let's talk about, let's do breaking news, shall we? I don't want to take too long today because I like watching Mark Stein at noon. That's California time. 8 o'clock where you are, I believe. Live. Sanctions on Russia are a price worth paying, NATO chief. Okay. This makes me laugh. It should make you laugh. Well, not really. It's not that funny. But it should make you laugh the balls on these people, right? Sanctions on Russia are a price worth paying. Sanctions that don't work. Sanctions that don't work. The Russians knew what they were doing, because they're obviously more sensible than the shower of shite that runs everything in our neck of the woods. The Russians knew what they were doing. And they've spent the last 10 years doing everything they could to insulate their economy against sanctions because they knew what was going on. I mean, we never do, because we're too busy talking about the alphabet people, or whether or not a woman can have a fucking 10-inch lob on, or, trifling, trivial nonsense that nobody with any brains cares about. We spend all of our time doing that. Our defense minister's a fucking moron. I mean, that Ben Bradley has got the IQ of a pull-along duck. The shit he comes out with. I know more about him, about geopolitics and warfare, and I was a fucking corporal. I mean, the man is a moron. So we are sorely led, if that isn't obvious, and it has been the case for 30 years, because we're decadent. I mean, again, I'm not even that sour about it. It happens to every empire. We've had it too good for too long, so we've lost. We've got sloppy and fat and lazy and weak. Obviously, why shouldn't the leadership represent the people? We're an empire in decay. We're Rome when fucking Commodus was, busy in the brothels while it all burned around him. Nero sucking his boyfriend off while the barbarians were at the gates. This is what we are. We're fucked. So the Russians knew what they were doing. I'm sure some intelligence professionals knew what they were doing, because it seems like people like me can see what's going on. I'm sure there was some intelligence professionals in MI5 and MI6 who actually know what's going on. But the people in charge don't fucking pay any attention to them, do they? Boris is too busy getting his nutsack fucking tongue punched by his fucking much younger missus while she's talking him into doing green shit. He's too busy doing that. So it's understandable. It's understandable what's going on. Were you ever an instructor? I was not. No, I didn't. A lot of people put in for that because they want to spend a lot of time in Exmouth with their wives. I was unmarried throughout my career in the Corps, and I never fancied going down there. They do have CIs there now doing recruit training. I know for a fact because I know a lad down there, but I never did it and I didn't fancy it. It's not in me to fucking constantly hound people. I'm more of a sort of jovial, humorous chap. Bad-tempered Scottish PWs are the best people at doing training, and I'm not one of them. But yeah, it's obvious this. The sanctions hurt us, not them. And when some fucking arsehole, typical, upper crust, woke cunt says something like, the sanctions on Russia are a price worth paying, any normal person should just be sat there shaking their head in fucking bewilderment. Of course you think they're a price worth paying. You do, don't you? Yens. Let's just Google yens and let's see how much money we think yens is worth, shall we? Jens, I don't know. Secretary General of fucking... He's already in there because he's a Norwegian. He was the PM of Norway for about a decade, right? And he's the son of prominent diplomat and politician Thorvald Stoltenberg, right? And he went to a ridiculously posh school, and he got an economics graduate university of Oslo, and he's basically suckled on the public tit for decades. And his parents are rich as fuck, and his grandparents are rich as fuck, and he's a multi-millionaire. And Jens Stoltenberg wants to tell you, oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, sanctions are a price worth paid. Yeah. His suit probably costs more than you'll make in 3 months. Jens, you fucking arsehole. What do you mean it's a price worth paying? It's a price worth paying if you're a multi-millionaire. It's not a price worth paying if you're a working class family and you're struggling to pay the bills and you can't fucking give your kids a treat and you've started walking everywhere because petrol's too expensive. I mean, is this a joke? If there has ever been a better example of the aloof, woke, upper class, fucking globalist shills being completely disinterested in the will of the general public, that is the fucking example you want to see there. Jens Stoltenberg, a multi-millionaire whose parents were politicians, who's been a politician for 40 years, who went to a posh school, telling everybody that it's worth it. Oh, it's worth it. He acknowledges that many in the West are paying higher energy prices as a result. You're not. You're not, because you're a multimillionaire. And even though you're a multimillionaire, you get all your expenses paid for by the taxpayer, don't you? You've got a fucking driver. You've got a chauffeur. All your petrol gets paid by the state. I mean, you're only worth 100 million fucking quid. So you should just pay it yourself, but they never do. But he warns the world will be more insecure if Russia wins in Ukraine. Well, you go and fight then. Jens, send your kids. What was Tony Blair's kids doing when I invaded Iraq? Oh, yeah, they were being shipped off backdoor into Harvard, weren't they? Ewan was flying into Harvard University backdoor, didn't pay for it. And Sherry and Tony Sherry was crying on the tarmac. Oh, I'm going to miss him. He's going to America. All the working class women were like, well, I didn't cry like that when Dave went to fucking Afghanistan. I didn't cry like that when John invaded Iraq. And I didn't know if I was going to see him again. But you cried when Ewan got backed out into Harvard. You fucking raddled spunk Bowser. I mean, it really does beg a belief. And it also annoys me that we're so fat and comfortable that they know they can do all of this and nobody's going to say or do anything about it. You know what I mean? They know that nobody's going to do anything about it. The normies aren't going to fucking do anything about it. Jens Stoltenberg, just like everybody else who runs the show, is a multi-millionaire with a driver that you pay for. with the petrol receipts that you pay for, and you can barely afford to drive your own shitty Austin Allegro, and they don't care. The world will be more insecure. Well, you send your kids then. Send your kids, Jens. You fucking pay for it. You arsehole. It's outrageous. I can't, it makes me so angry. Hang on. Rage bonus just 10 pegging in my shorts. There it is. Yeah. There it goes. World leaders at the summit are expected to approve plans to increase the number of troops on high alert. Winner. Yep. Fuck it. Let's just start World War III. Just start World War III. Send all the kids over to get machine gunned in the thousands while Jens is getting a fucking gobble off a 17-year-old French prostitute. It comes after G7 leaders set out fresh measures against Russia during a separate summit. Everything is fucked. Price cap for Russian oil, push the ban on gold imports, countries not to stockpile food. Yeah, which they mega care about. Rescues have stopped searching for survivors after a missile strike. Turkey agrees to support Finland and Sweden NATO bid. How much did you pay them? The Turks are not our friends, are they? How much did you pay them? The world's going to hell in a handbasket. All the stuff that the military experts and the intelligence professionals and the journalists that are switched on and who actually spent time over there, people like Peter Richards, all the stuff they've told us we must never do, we're doing. So, champion. Just remember when the bombs rained down that a blind man could have seen it coming and the powers that be stumbled into it anyway because they're all fucking scum, the people that run the world nowadays. And the people that run the internet. I'm amazed. I'm telling you what, I'm amazed my front door hasn't gone in yet. I'm staggered Suzar hasn't sent the boys round. Beanbag gun in the face and then 12 hours on the waterboard. We're not free people. We are not free people. So yeah, there's that. Winner. Champion. What are you going to do, other than whinge? What are you going to do other than whinge about it? So that's a beauty story. Everything's going tits up. What do countries spend on defence? How's Poland's higher than ours, by the way? Although at least the UK is ahead of France. That 2.3%, I believe, is supposed to be the agreed upon defence spending. And the European Union, all Dick's Enormous sent a super chat. What's that say? Can you make some stickers of your Angry Bootneck logo in the top left-hand corner, mate? I'll try. I don't know if that's even feasible. I'll have a look on Redbubble and I'll price them as cheaply as I can. I think the markup on them is only 20%. I don't actually make any money out of any of that shit. So I'll have a look. Seeing as you paid for it, I'll put the web address in now so I don't forget, and I'll try my best. That's when anyone's asked me for that one. Got shitty stickers of the big swinging boot neck, but not that one. Oh yeah, that reminds me. That does remind me. There's something to do before I fuck off. I've had a Subscribe Star account for years. Well, about 2 years now, I think. That I completely forgot about and never checked. So I went on there yesterday. I was really pleased to see after like 8 months or however long it's been, there was $300 in there waiting for me. Which is great because I do not make any money. I don't think I've had a pint off any of you tight bastards in about at least a month. I don't think I've had a quid on my PayPal account. So to reward these 15 sensible souls who are on my Subscribe Star account there, I'm going to draw some out. I'll dig around tonight, see if I can find some. And yeah, you lot, whoever is on there, you can have. This is. That wasn't Susan. That was me. Press the wrong button. That wasn't Susan. That was me. Oh, Paz is in. All right, Paz, how you doing? Anyway, yeah, what I was saying is, I totally forgot about, I had to subscribe. So I went on there for about 8 months. I had $300 in there waiting for me, which is really nice. And I don't do it for the cash, obviously, because I work for a living. But these people on Subscribe Star, I massively appreciate. And I totally forgot about you all. And I promised you, like, rewards and shit for being on Subscribe Star, and I didn't give anyone anything. So those people that are on there will get access to an artwork giveaway. Everybody who's on there, I'm going to dig some art out tonight. I'll find something to send you, and if you're one of those 15 people or whatever, I'll pick something out, and I will send you it tomorrow. Even though I don't think I'm much of an artist, everybody seems happy when they get some. I believe Steve Davis was the last bloke who got some, and he sent me a message and said, "Thanks so much for that. It's fantastic. I even like the envelope, and then draw me some more," which is a little bit necky. So, Steve, I don't do art upon request, so I apologise for that. It's a pain up the arse going to the post office shipping things across the pond, but I'm glad you liked what you got, and everybody on there will be getting something tomorrow. And I do sign them, Teresa. I do sign them before I send them, and I decorate the envelope nicely. And I think I sent in 3 pieces rather than 1. I just dig through my folder and pick shit out. I've got a lot of drawings left over from my lengthy career of scribbling. So yeah, I'll pick some out and send it on to whoever is on Subscribe Star, because I do appreciate it and I completely forgot about it. It's a nice bonus. Like finding a tenner in your jeans is worth a lot more than a tenner. You know what I mean? If you find a tenner in your jeans, you're like, fucking hell, that was good. And it feels like you're suddenly like Scrooge McDuck swimming in his vault. So that was a nice surprise I completely forgot about. So I apologize for resting on my laurels. Subscribe Star people, I will send you some art tomorrow. All right? I'll dig it out tonight. What was I talking about before I got? Oh, yeah. Art and stickers. Oh, yeah, this fucking arsehole. So short version is, Mr. Stoltenberg's super rich, highly educated, family with pot. I mean, have you noticed how they're always related as well? They're all politicians. All of them. Like, every single one of them now is born into it. It's nepotism, rank nepotism. You knew Jens Stoltenberg's parents were going to be politicians, prominent politicians. You knew he was going to go into a private school. You knew he was going to be a multimillionaire. And you knew his position was going to be, I'm going to keep on telling everybody else that you should just keep paying because I can afford it. Oh, Paz has still got some art as well. I totally forgot about that. And I'm glad you liked it. I am a scribbler, but I do my best. Davey Mack just sent me money for no reason. Thanks, mate. Paz is off to work. Cheers, Paz. I'm glad you're still around. Thanks for popping in. Nepotism begins at home. That's a good one. It does. It does. Although, it just really is detestable behavior, is what I'm getting at. You know, they don't feel it. I just can't believe that they're so fucking ignorant to come out and make statements like that in public. It's a price worth paying. A price worth paid. It blows my fucking tiny mind. If it was an old Trump saying it, you feel like, you know, that he had some fucking, at least some gravitas behind what he's saying. Like, you know, like when we were fighting the Nazis in World War II, everyone was behind it. But this type of shit, nobody is. They do the best to indoctrinate everybody and say, oh, yeah, any price is worth paying for a bunch of random strangers halfway across the fucking world in a country that is equally as corrupt as the Russians. They've done the best, aided by the human tyrant, the digital tyrants in Silicon Valley. They've done the best to try and convince us all that the war in Ukraine is the most important thing in the world. But they can't do it. Because no matter how much they try, the general public still ask themselves questions. Why are we doing this? Is this worth sending $40 billion? And it doesn't seem to be, does it? World War II, when you were fighting against the Nazis, they pretty much sold that to everybody because it was a black and white story. It was black and white. It was good versus evil almost. When you're putting babies in gas chambers, it makes people angry. But Russia and Ukraine, That is some very, very, very blurry lines. I can't even talk about it too much again because the tyrants that run this fucking platform throw you off if you're not overbearing. Yeah, let's have a war. Because obviously the neo-liberal, woke fucking authoritarians, so bizarrely, are all pro-war now, right? The only ones asking, should we be going to war again, are on Fox News, where they have people like Jimmy Dore on, fucking Russell Brand, like left-wingers, old school left-wingers, who go, should we be doing this? Really? Is this sensible? They're the only ones who ask the questions. CNN won't do it. MSNBC won't do it. This is what I'm saying, right? And this is what I've said many, many times. Bootneck, have to mix it up. You're more interested in politics. Mix it up. What do you mean by mix it up? Like not talk about politics all the time? I don't know what else you want me to do. Like I said, I can masturbate whilst lowering myself onto a vase, but that's OnlyFans, isn't it? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Politics is what interests me. Politics is what interests me. But yeah, you're right. Everybody practicing is a fucking idiot. And the point I'm making there is, the fucking only people asking why are what would used to be called the right wing. Tucker Carlson had Jimmy Dore on the other day. And if you don't know, Jimmy Dore, I've followed him for years. He's an old school lefty. He's a proper lefty. But he's a lefty with integrity and a brain that's fully functioning, so he questions things. And when they have started turning the screws, probably the last 2 years, he's been sat there bewildered going, kind of looks like there was dodgy things going on during the election. Kind of looks that way, even though I hate Trump. Kind of looks like there was dodgy things going on there. Kind of looks like there's an Azov battalion full of fucking tattooed neo-Nazis in Ukraine. Kind of looks like Ukraine's one of the most corrupt countries in the world, and we just keep talking about Russian corruption. You know, he's not saying Russia's not corrupt. He's not saying Russia's the good guys. He's just doing what all of us do, normal people, and asking normal questions, which is this a good idea? Because that's what I've had to reiterate a dozen times in a desperate attempt to stave off the ban hammer. Does simply saying, is this a sensible idea, make you pro-fucking Putin, right? Poisoned Litvinenko with polonium in Salisbury. Of course it doesn't. But people like us are not even allowed to talk. You're not allowed to say anymore. Just like the video I made about Lawrence Fox yesterday. You're not allowed to say, should I be forced to salute the flag if it's a woke one? You're allowed to say if it's a Union Jack or a Stars and Stripes. You're allowed to piss on the Stars and Stripes, set it on fire. And I support that because I'm an old school libertarian. Soldiers fought and died for your right to burn the American flag. I've said this many times. If you're an American soldier getting pissed off because hippies burn the flag, don't. You should be proud as punch. I'm proud when I see hippies burning flags. Yes, I'm quick to call them a bunch of fucking degenerate, illiterate, irresponsible, irredeemable, and everything else that begins with it. Illogical, irrational, inexplicably avoiding getting a fucking shower. Right? But it should make you proud. Because in North Korea, in China, you get a bullet in the head if you burn the flag, if you criticize the dear leader. But in the United States, they can do it with impunity. So it should make you proud. Don't get angry about hippies burning the flag. Call them a bunch of cunts and then get your massive flag out and wave it and say, God bless America. That's what you do. You don't have to get angry and violent. You just have to fly your flag happily and pleasantly and overjoyed at the fact that you're on the right side of it. You've won the argument. Them burning the flag whilst you chuckle and wave yours, instead of getting angry and violent about it, is you winning the argument. You're basically saying, I'm a man who loves freedom and democracy, and you're fucking Kim Jong-il. Should fill you with pride when they burn flags. Fuck them. We fight for the right for people to burn flags. I reserve their right to burn flags, and they don't reserve my right to call them dirty, smelly, foul-smelling, pot-bellied fucking hippies with no fucking brains and no clue at all. I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to insult them, and they're allowed to burn the flag. The system works. But they'll burn the flag and then get angry and say, arrest him, prosecute him, when he does the similar, like Lawrence Fox taking the piss out the LGBT flag. He's allowed to do it. And they just prove us right every single time. Well, that's what I'm saying, Sadwings. They just prove us right, though, don't they? So I'll just laugh at them. They prove us right. They burn the flag, you laugh and fly yours. You burn their flag, they say, kill him, kill him, kill him, arrest him, jail him, gulag. So who's won the argument? Who's won the argument there? Like Jesus turning the other cheek basically made everybody fucking admire and revere Jesus, essentially taking his side, albeit a historical role because he's already dead. Turning the other cheek, that's what it does. The more people, the more normies that see you chuckling when they burn an American flag and then them baying for fucking blood when you shun the LGBT flag. The more normies that see that, the more people come to our side of the fucking line because you've just won the argument there. You've won the argument. Do not get angry or violent about burning of flags because it should make you proud. Fuck them. What else can we talk about? I don't want to go on about this all day. Oh, there's a good one from Billy. I should do a 40k video. The thing is, I can't be asked starting another channel. And I don't want to segue into 40k videos on the Angry Bootneck. It's not really that type of channel. I might do, though. I'll tell you what, there's a guy I watch occasionally called Chapter Master Valrak. He's got like 150,000 subscribers. He doesn't... I could do 40k videos better than him. He's not a particularly quick-witted gentleman. He just sort of reads the chapter. Like if he does all about the Ultramarines, he just reads the fucking Wikipedia page. Thinking, man, that stuff's easy. Although Suzar's already cancelled my channel. It doesn't matter if I don't go off piece and I'm merely talking about the most milquetoast things ever. None of my videos get ad revenue anyway, so there'd probably be no point making a 40k channel, would there? I'd have to restart and start from scratch. What's a 40k video? 40k is a hobby that lots of us are into in the cool part of the world. Well, especially in England. Warhammer 40,000, it's tabletop wargaming, which I'm into. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna segue into talking about 40k at the minute. Country spending on defence, we've talked about. The United States is one of the only ones that does the aforementioned 2.3% that NATO was supposed to have fixed on, and Trump rightfully pointed out that everyone's taking the piss out of the Americans, and they are. Like Germany and France are well below 2%, so they know that the Americans are going to bail them out. The UK is doing what the UK typically does and fucking standing on the fence like a twat by basically spending the 2.3% mandated, but not a penny more, which is sort of real-term cuts as well. I mean, we've got a pretty paltry armed forces now. And yeah, we take the piss, but that's life, isn't it? Oh shit! I've gone past 12. Right, I'm going to leave because I want to go and watch Mark Stein. He's better than this. He's better at this than everybody else, including me. So I would advocate you now stop watching the Bootneck and go and see Mark Stein and watch that for an hour instead because he's fucking brilliant. His fingers on the pulse. We should all support GB News and all of their advertisers, and we should all give the middle finger to Suzar and the fucking oligarch, degenerate sex pest scum that run Silicon Valley as a whole. So yeah, let's call it there. As I said, tomorrow I'll be doing a subscribe star giveaway, so thank you everybody that supported me on there. And yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Kevin Wright, you want a link? All right, let me find it. In fact, I think it's on there, isn't it? It should already be on there. Who fucking knows? Let me just have a quick gander. The Angry Bootneck, there it is. Yeah, go and watch Mark Stein now. I'm hanging up. I'll be back tomorrow. Fear not, I'll be back tomorrow. All right, ladies and gents, I'll hopefully be back on time for 11. I had some shit to deal with at work. I'll be back very soon. Thanks for watching. Toodle pip. See you soon. Cheers.